Let's learn Windows 11 and Office 365 with easy beginner first steps. Today I am going to show you how to create a hybrid resume using the geometric resume template in Microsoft Word. This format is designed for applicants who are changing careers, returning to the workforce, or building a resume without recent experience. It is also effective for applicants who have a mix of earlier roles, transferable skills, and volunteer experience that needs to be presented in a clear and balanced way. The hybrid resume allows you to highlight your skills at the top of the document while still showing your work history in a structured and professional format. This approach helps the recruiter understand your strengths quickly and gives you more control over how your experience is presented. To begin, open Microsoft Word. When the home page appears, click on New on the left side of the screen. In the search box in the center of the page, type the word Resume and then press Enter or click the magnifying glass to run the search. Word will display a collection of templates that you can choose from. Scroll through the results until you find the template named Generic Resume. This template is easy to work with. It behaves consistently across different versions of Word, and it supports the hybrid resume structure without requiring any complex adjustments. When you select it, Word will generate a document that contains 3 identical pages. These pages are simply duplicates of the same layout, so you only need the first one. Delete the extra pages by placing your cursor at the very bottom of the first page, pressing backspace until the additional pages disappear, and then you can begin customizing the template with your own information. The first section of this resume begins with the contact information at the top of the page, and this is where the viewer learns how to anchor the document with clear, readable details that match the formatting of the generic resume template. The contact block begins with the street address on the first line. The next line contains the city, the state, and the zip code. Below that is the phone number, and as we have done in all of the resume videos, the phone number uses the most modern format, which is simply spaces between the area code, the prefix, and the line number. The last item in the contact block is the email address. Directly below this information, the name appears in a large font and is aligned to the left side of the page. This layout keeps the top of the resume clean and predictable, which is important because recruiters scan this area first. For this example, the applicant is Brianna Chen, a Seattle-based marketing professional who is applying for a marketing coordinator role. The viewer learns that the goal is not to decorate this area or add unnecessary elements. The goal is to present the information in a way that is easy to read and consistent with the template. After the contact information, the resume moves into the introductory summary. This section is short, direct, and designed to match the hybrid resume structure. The summary gives the recruiter a quick understanding of who the applicant is, what she brings to the role, and how her background aligns with the job description. In this part of the resume, you'll see that the summary isn't a long paragraph or a list of buzzwords. Instead, it's a brief statement that highlights the applicant's strengths and sets the tone for the rest of the document. In Brianna's case, the summary focuses on her experience in digital marketing, her ability to coordinate campaigns, and her skill in supporting cross-functional teams. This introduces her as a motivated and detail-oriented professional who's ready to contribute to a marketing team in a meaningful way. The next part of the resume transitions into the education and skills section, and this is where the hybrid resume begins to show its structure. In the generic resume template, the summary sits at the top, and directly below it, the page splits into 2 columns. On the left side is the education section, and on the right side is the skills section. Even though the education block appears first in the layout, the skills block is still the primary focus for the hybrid format because it highlights the applicant's core competencies in a simple, easy-to-scan format. The viewer learns that the skills should be relevant to the job description and written in plain language. For Brianna, the skills include digital marketing, content coordination, social media management, analytics support, project organization, and cross-team communication. These skills are chosen because they match the responsibilities of a marketing coordinator role and because they help the recruiter understand what the applicant can do before reading the detailed experience section. The viewer sees how the skills block acts as a bridge between the summary and the experience section, giving the resume a balanced and modern structure even within the 2-column layout of the template. After skills, I will go enter in the experience. In the generic resume template, this area sits in its own column on the right side of the document, and this is where the hybrid resume blends the functional and chronological styles. Each job entry includes the job title, the company name, and the dates of employment. Under each role, The descriptions focus on accomplishments, responsibilities, and measurable results written in clear, concise sentences that begin with action verbs. In Brianna's case, the first job entry is her most recent role as a marketing assistant at a Seattle-based creative agency. In this position, she supported campaign planning, coordinated content schedules, assisted with analytics reporting, and collaborated with designers and writers to ensure that deliverables were completed on time. Each sentence highlights a specific responsibility and avoids vague language, giving the recruiter a clear picture of what she contributed to the role. The next job entry highlights Brianna's earlier experience as a social media intern for a regional nonprofit organization. In this section, you can see how internship experience becomes valuable when it is presented clearly and tied to relevant skills. This entry shows the type of details you should include in your own resume: managing content calendars, drafting posts, monitoring engagement metrics, and supporting event promotions. These are concrete responsibilities that demonstrate initiative and hands-on involvement. When you are writing this part of your resume, focus on positive, confident phrasing that shows what you contributed, not just what you were assigned. Even early roles should highlight growth, increasing responsibility, and the skills that connect directly to the job you are applying for. In Brianna's case, this internship helps show how her earlier experience prepared her for the responsibilities of marketing coordinator position. The final job entry in this segment covers Brianna's part-time role as a communications assistant during her time in college. This entry shows how she wrote short announcements, assisted with email newsletters, and maintained a simple content library for internal use. When you are building this section of your own resume, include early experience if it supports your overall narrative and aligns with the job you are applying for. Focus on clear, specific responsibilities that demonstrate growth, reliability, and the ability to contribute in a professional environment. For Brianna, this role helps show how she developed communication skills, built confidence in handling routine tasks, and gained experience that connects to the responsibilities of a marketing coordinator. The descriptions remain concise and focused, and they help the recruiter understand her progression over time. As you complete the hybrid resume, the most important principle to keep in mind is clarity. Every section of the document should work together to present a clear and accurate picture of your qualifications. The hybrid structure supports this by placing the summary at the top of the page and then using the two-column layout to introduce both education and skills in a balanced way. The skills block is not meant to dominate the page visually. Instead, it provides a focused list of core abilities that prepares the recruiter for the detailed examples that appear in the experience section. When you review the resume, read each sentence out loud and make sure the writing is direct, specific, and easy to understand. Remove any wording that feels vague or repetitive and focus on responsibilities and accomplishments that support the role you are targeting. The goal is to create a resume that is simple to scan, consistent in its formatting, and aligned with the expectations of the job description. The final step is to prepare the document for submission. Save the resume in a format that preserves the layout, such as a PDF, and use a professional file name that includes your first and last name. Before sending the resume, take a moment to confirm that the sections are aligned, the spacing is even, and the information is accurate. A hybrid resume does not rely on decorative elements or complex formatting. It relies on strong writing, consistent structure, and a clear presentation of your skills and experience. When these elements are in place, the resume becomes a powerful tool that communicates your strengths quickly and effectively. By following this structure, you can create a professional resume that supports your career goals and presents your qualifications with confidence and clarity. I hope this helped you learn a new skill. Please keep exploring more Windows and Office tutorials.